In a world that can sometimes feel divided, there are stories that remind us of what's possible when people come together. This is the story of Liam, a 10-year-old boy with a rare illness, and the small town that refused to let him fight alone. Liam was just like any other kid in Maplewood, a small town nestled in the heart of the countryside. He loved soccer, comic books, and making his friends laugh. His mom, Sarah, called him her little ray of sunshine. But when Liam was 9, everything changed. He started getting tired all the time. He'd come home from school and fall asleep on the couch. At first, Sarah thought it was just a phase. Kids get tired, right? But then came the fevers, the headaches, the trips to the doctor. After months of tests, Sarah got the call that every parent dreads. Liam had a rare condition called pediatric myelodysplastic syndrome, a disorder that affected his bone marrow. The doctor said Liam needed a bone marrow transplant. Without it, his chances of survival were slim. But the treatment was expensive, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and Sarah, a single mom working as a teacher's aide, didn't have that kind of money. Sarah felt helpless. She didn't know how she was going to save her son, but she wasn't the only one who loved Liam. Maplewood was a small town, but it had a big heart. And when word spread about Liam's diagnosis, something incredible began to happen. It started with Mrs. Carter, Liam's 3rd grade teacher. She organized a meeting at the community center. She stood up and said, "Liam is one of us. We can't let him and Sarah go through this alone," Mrs. Carter said. Liam was always the kid who'd share his crayons, even when he only had a few left. I knew we had to do something for him. The town sprang into action. They called it Liam's Light, a campaign to raise money for his treatment. Bake sales popped up on every corner. Local businesses donated profits. Kids sold lemonade and handmade bracelets. Even people who didn't know Liam personally got involved. Mr. Thompson, the grumpy old mechanic who rarely spoke to anyone, donated half his shop's earnings for a month. Within weeks, Liam's Light had raised over $50,000. It wasn't enough for the transplant, but it was a start. And more importantly, it gave Sarah and Liam something they desperately needed: hope. Liam was in and out of the hospital, getting treatments to keep him stable while they searched for a bone marrow donor. Every day, Sarah would read him letters from the town. Kids drew him pictures of superheroes. Teenagers sent him playlists. Even the mayor wrote him a note, calling him Maplewood's bravest hero. But Liam's condition was getting worse. The doctors said they needed to find a donor soon. The town didn't give up. They organized a bone marrow drive, urging everyone to get tested. Hundreds showed up, young, old, friends, strangers. They all wanted to help. And then a miracle happened. A match was found. A 22-year-old college student named Ethan, who'd moved to Maplewood just a year before, was a perfect match for Liam. Ethan said, "I didn't know Liam or his mom, but when I heard about the drive, I thought, why not? I never imagined I'd be a match. It felt like fate." Ethan's donation gave Liam a fighting chance. The transplant was scheduled, and the town held its breath. They prayed, they hoped, they waited. The surgery was a success. But Liam's fight wasn't over. Recovery would be long and grueling. He'd need months of care, and Sarah would need support to cover the costs. That's when Maplewood showed the true power of community. They didn't stop at the fundraiser or the bone marrow drive. They kept going. The town set up a meal train, so Sarah never had to worry about cooking. Volunteers took turns driving her to the hospital. A local carpenter even built a ramp for Liam's wheelchair when he came home. Liam's homecoming was a day Maplewood would never forget. The street was lined with balloons and banners. Kids ran up to hug him. And for the first time in months, Liam's smile was as bright as ever. But the story doesn't end there. Liam's Light became more than a fundraiser, it became a movement. The town started an annual event to raise money for other families facing medical crises. And Liam? He's 12 now, and he's thriving. He's back to playing soccer. Though he's still working on his stamina, he says he wants to be a doctor when he grows up so he can help kids like him. Sarah says she'll never be able to repay Maplewood for what they did. But the truth is, the town got something out of it too. They rediscovered what it means to be a